So yeah. We back with another episode of the Dog Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Wright, aka Big C Dog. And I got my fellow host with me. Proud to have him back. We call him A-Free, aka Sugar Free, is back in the building.
Sugar Free.
You know what I'm saying? And we are blessed. We are blessed and honored and feel grateful to have one of the Hoyas' greatest scores to ever come through the building. Man, again, another brother that wore number 4, Austin Freeman. Again, another brother that really came in and said, we gonna get buckets and represent this number 4 the right way because we the heart and soul of the program. You understand? None other than my man, DSR. What's good, brother?
Man, what's going on, big bro? How you been, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Can't complain. You know, happy that you here. Happy that we can have you on.
Man, happy to see y'all boys, man, for sure.
Definitely. How's your family doing?
Everybody good, man. Just trying to maintain, man, you know, the quarantine and everything. Got everybody, you know, trying to stay safe, but at the same time, you know, manage and still have that income for real. So
Exactly. I feel you. All right. Let's get it popping.
Well, so you know, we start like this all the time with you know, everybody that's been an alumni at Georgetown. We always want to know, why'd you pick Georgetown?
Honest answer, I wasn't gonna pick Georgetown. Honestly, I didn't know anything about Georgetown leading up to my visit. When I went on my visit, my parents, I would say my mom did most of the research behind the school, just learning like the, you know, everyday academic life, you know, player personnel, you know, basketball, the basketball world is so small, you know what I mean? So I knew all of y'all before I got there, you know what I mean? So it was, that wasn't really what I had to learn. It was more so just on the, you know, day-to-day being at Georgetown, the institution. So, but anyways, that conversation was, you know, my mom's just like, you know, she wanted me to go to a school that she thought was as close to Ivy League as it could be. There were a few Ivy League schools that I liked, but I'm like, you know, just as far as managing the basketball and managing school, I'm like, you know, I don't want to put that type of wear, you know, mentally on myself. So, and, you know, Georgetown has always been a powerhouse, you know, for the sport that we play. So, you know, I wanted to join that tradition and, you know, follow up in you guys' footsteps.
Let me ask you this, man, and this is something that I've been hearing a lot, and I can honestly say it was a transition, but it wasn't that hard like people making it out to be. The school part and the education part, was that a difficult part for you? I'm not going to sit here in front like I'm a 3.5 student and all that, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I mean, for me, it was more so like, I mean, I went to a pretty good academic school in Indianapolis, where I'm from, North Central High School. That's where Eric Gordon went. Also, you know, it's tough academically, but, you know, we come from that. So, you know what I'm saying? For me, it wasn't like a crazy transition. I think it was more so me working on my time management. You know what I mean? Right. Somebody like me, like, you know, I wake up in the morning, I'm not trying to really get up, you know what I'm saying? But I learned that, you know what I mean, in a way that, you know, allowed me to be able to focus on both.
Yeah, that's something like everybody always be saying, that education at Georgetown is what, but you know, it's a backbreaker for me. I'm like, dog, people that came to Georgetown.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I'll be honest, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't, you know, as you know, rigorous as they would like try to make it out to be. It was more so, like I said, time management. I can do the work. Yeah, I can do the work for sure.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So you said you went to North Central High School. You went there for 3 years, right?
3 years. Yep. Yeah. Oak Hill, my senior year. Yep.
Okay. Speaking on that, why Oak Hill your senior year?
Again, tradition. Mostly, I mean, there were a few other schools that I liked. Mater Dei, which is in California. St. Benedict's is in New Jersey. At the time, Rashad McLeod, who was an assistant at IU for a little while, he was the head coach over there. And I think Tyler Ennis and there was a few other guys. That's my son, by the way. The guy. Yeah, you know, just tradition, man. Oak Hill was close to, you know, Georgetown, so some of the coaches were allowed to, you know, come and see me, and be able to build that relationship and stuff like that. So, and of course, we went there and we did what we had to do, man. I love my experience there. I loved, playing with the guys that I played with and a couple hometown guys too. So it was good, man.
Who was on your team at Oak Hill that year?
AJ Hammonds went to Purdue. Damian Wilson, he went to Memphis. Tyler Lewis, who was our point guard, he went to NC State first and then went to Butler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We had some guys, man. I think it was more so for us, the depth of our team. You know what I mean? We had a lot of guys that could really play, and we understood how to play together. And I think that's what allowed us to really be successful. We don't have any, other than, I would say myself and the big man, and Jordan Adams too. I can't forget my boy. Yeah, Jordan Adams went to UCLA, first round pick. He was a bucket too. So we meshed well, and me and Jordan, we were very unselfish, but we knew how to, score.
So let me ask this, bro. I don't never understand this. Free had the chance to leave. I had the chance to leave, but staying home your senior year and and really running the city is like no other feeling you can have, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I always answer you had North Central for 3 years. You might have break a record there, possibly. I don't know. But you got a chance to stay home in the crib. You can move all your games to colleges and something your senior year. I know you're thinking about that.
I would say as far as with me staying home, I mean, there's a lot of things that I would say that I left on the table. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Being Mr. Basketball in my state is one thing. Winning another state championship, possibly being top 3 to 5 all time, and scoring in the state. There were a lot of things that, that I realized after the fact that, I may have left on the table, but, do I feel bad about it or regret it? No, because we went undefeated at Oak Hill. I led that team in scoring the whole year, top 5 all time in a single season scoring, and we got the championship, which was the ultimate goal there. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I challenged myself. I did more prep for college and things like that. And being an individual and really learning how to be a professional more so than I would have if I was home. A lot of my friends are back home. A lot of people that I'm cool with, I feel like, I felt like I carried the city on my back for some years anyway. But, at that time, I felt like it was best for me to go.
Okay. Free, what you doing, man? How you like that feeling of staying home, Free?
I loved it, because most of my family, came to see me play anyway. So, they loved that. My friends could see me play. My friends was all around. So, just to have them around, just made me real comfortable. I loved it a lot,
Yeah, that's cool. I always ask people, what I'm saying? And I understand why you leave. For whatever reasons, I have no problem. It's just always interesting. You work your whole life in this community around people, around this dude that work at 7-Eleven, around these people that work at, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
people really that came in high school. People that basically, watched you grow up, man. And my situation is a little different from y'all's because, my personality is spontaneous. You know what I mean? Like, I was the type of person that was like, man, I knew I was going to college, elsewhere. Like, I had a few moments in time where I was like, I like Indiana University, I like Purdue University, but those are just the home teams. I supported them anyway, and I always rooted for them. But at the same time, I was always like, I just want to know what else, other people have. Yeah, man. And y'all, you two, trust me, bro. When I first got there, y'all names was buzzing all through the conversation. So, for y'all, it was staying home was a great thing. The Capitol, McDonald's All-Americans, y'all was putting in work. So, I could understand why they was behind y'all. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I wanted to leave myself until I saw that arena packed with 20,000 people. I'm like,
It'll get you. It'll get you.
All right, so finish your year at Oak Hill, undefeated. Now you coming into Georgetown, freshman year. just, explain to us, explain to the fans, you coming in as a freshman that year, where you was at mentally, the focus of the team, just where y'all was at, when you came into your freshman year. Like, was there like was it a learning experience? Was it a tough transition coming in, learning the offense and all that stuff?
Yeah, I would say a few things. I think with the way that I play, the offense wasn't necessarily the thing. It was just the option that I was in the offense. Right. And what I mean, and y'all will understand this, very well. You guys came in as, premier players and, the go-to guy pretty much, the man, which, most guys at that level, they come in with an expectation of being one of the guys, you know what I'm saying, on the team. So for me, we had Otto Porter there, Greg Whittington early on my freshman year, Jabril Charwick, Nate Lubick, Mikael Hopkins. Yeah. We had a team, man, who I thought, we fell short of a lot of expectations that I personally had and that we had within ourselves. But the potential, I think, was through the roof. Like, I felt like we could have been one of the greatest teams to come through there. But my freshman experience was kind of, it was a roller coaster, man. I mean, as any freshman, you want to do so well that you you expect yourself to be a certain type of way when, that's just not the reality of the situation. I was coming off the bench as a freshman when I knew that my talents and my ability were, starter or, a guy who should be playing so much. But I felt like it was in the best interest of the team because a lot of teams, when I'm getting the second and third best defender, I know I'm going to have a fairly decent night. So
no, don't be humble with it now. That's barbecue chicken right there, baby. Pulling out the watch out now.
Hey, that was the goal, man. I mean, I felt like a lot of it spoke for itself. I wasn't really verbal about it, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like at times I could have just got the ball and made it happen for sure.
Give me the rock, because I got the goddamn.
Man, you already know.
We all felt that way. Especially freshman year, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, man. And I love, my freshman year, I would say, man, as far as like our clout, you know what I'm saying, and how crazy this city was, I would say my freshman year was by far, it had to be one or two of the craziest years, of me being there, because we at the time, and not to talk bad about my guys, I love the Wizards, I love all the professional teams, they all that, but they weren't that good, you know what I'm saying? So like so for us it was like, I go somewhere with Otto Porter or go down to M Street with Otto Porter, I'm the man, he the man, like it's and they like every time they just like, yo, that's Otto Porter, and they be like, you the shooter too, ain't you the one that always be? I'm like, yeah, like that's that's what we do, like, and right. For us to have that type of energy, you know what I'm saying, come from people that love the school so much and love the tradition of the basketball, in itself is crazy, you know what I mean? That's why we play, you know what I mean, to entertain those people.
That's funny that you
crazy part about that, like you said that at one point in time, a Georgetown like the tickets, a Georgetown ticket was way more expensive than game or anything like that. Like buzz was popping over there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we used to have that joint on lock, boy. That's what it used to be right.
Yeah, so y'all was there for together. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I can only imagine you got these two guys who are, you know what I'm saying, at the top of the food chain. It's like, of course, you know what I'm saying? Of course y'all gonna get that love, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, when I would come down there, I didn't even get to really, kick it with y'all like that on my visits and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's something that, like, man, I couldn't imagine walking down the street with y'all two and, you know what I'm saying, somebody be like, oh, yeah, that's free, you know what I mean? That would have been a crazy welcome to see.
Man, me and Free we ain't gonna talk too much trash about it, but we did have 100% commitment rate. Anybody that came on and visit with us, you're gonna have a great time and you're going to want to commit. That was our motto, because at the same time, I mean, we get to hang out with you. So
yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But I heard, but initially you committed to Xavier, correct?
I did. Yeah, I committed to Xavier twice, man. I committed to him my sophomore year. And then yeah, man, it's crazy because I'm gonna give y'all the real spill. You know, I told you before we started, I give you the real spill. So my sophomore year, I had an injury. I tore my meniscus in my right knee. And so I'm like, damn, like, you know, big colleges and stuff, they gonna back up, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with something that I think, like, if they still trust my abilities and trust me, then that's who I'm gonna go with, who I trust, you know what I'm saying? And Xavier stuck with me the whole way through. You know, I had a conversation with my parents. They're like, man, you know, you're a Big Five, you know, Power Five conference player. Like, you're that good. Like, don't sell yourself short. Now, fast forward, where's Xavier now? In the Big East, you know what I mean? It's ironic how things work out sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But so I decommit from there. I get back playing and stuff. You know, I was still rated, you know, top 30 in high school, whatever, and you know, was still doing my thing. And so a lot of the big schools started, you know, trying to offer me again, trying to pick up again. So I committed to Xavier again because I'm like, yo, I'm 100% sure this time. You know, I take that conversation back to, you know, my parents, and again, you know, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, man, you need to go to a bigger school, like somewhere that can push you, and you could be around other, you know, players and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to him. So, you know, decommit. And then, you know, Georgetown came on the scene, which is one of the newer schools. As a junior, they were one of the newer schools that showed, you know, some interest and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, yeah, I'll take my kids. I've been to DC one time. You said who recruited me?
Yeah.
Kenya Hunter. Yeah, Coach Hunter came out there. Mike Brennan came out there. And what's crazy, man, I'm going to tell y'all a crazy story real quick. Coach Thompson, in high school, he only saw me play one time.
Yeah?
Yeah, he never really came to see me. He came to see me play one time. That was at Oak Hill. That was probably, I think that was my national championship game. I believe so. Yep. All the assistants.
Did you talk to him? Did you talk to him that time?
I talked to him. Yeah, I had a conversation with him. Before that, I had taken my visit down there, you know, that one time. And, you know, I loved it. I loved the city. I really love the city. I keep it 100 with you. I love D.C. Everything about D.C. interests me. Everything about the people, you know, and now it's, you know, I could go back there and it's all love from whoever. But, you know, it was just crazy how it worked out, man, because it was so much interest in, like, just the culture of like the basketball, man. I say that was the biggest thing. I knew any school that I went to education-wise would be good for me. But, you know, I felt like at the time, you know, our family came together on that decision to go to Georgetown.
Man, that's crazy. JT3's probably greatest scorer to ever walk through in his tenure. He saw him one time. This dude is top 5 at Georgetown. It's going. Yo, that's crazy. I think it's funny that we talking about this because as crazy as our system was, as unique as the Princeton offense was, both you guys, Coach Cox said this, you actually did fit the system. Because of style. Maybe not the most, you know, the most versatile for both of you. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. It didn't express or highlight all your talents.
Right.
But both of y'all are both efficient scorers. You know what I'm saying? If I was playing with you, DSR, if I was on your team, I'd be yelling at you to shoot the ball every time. Same with that day free. That was my team. If you don't shoot the ball, I'm a curse.
Yeah.
And that's how.
But the thing is, like, okay, like you saying that, which I appreciate that for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like I can play with real hoopers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could play with guys that are just as good, if not better, because
Absolutely.
I'm not. I'm not selfish. I'm not like a guy that's like in the way either. Like I know when the play is on somebody else, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But I am somebody that like understands my skills, you know what I'm saying? And like that's the main thing for me. And it was kind of tough for me at that time because you know, with the restrictions and how we played in the offense and stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, even as a freshman at times, I'm like, yo, I can go do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a close game. I know we got to run something or we got to run this, but this is kind of the time where everybody just needs to move. Like, I can make something happen if y'all just get out the way. You know what I'm saying? But now I say that, then it sounds like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, you trying to do this.
And that's something about the Princeton offense, bro. Not to cut you off. About the Princeton offense is that if you start to show that you want to make some individual shit going on, you want to make a move,
it will show.
And if it don't work, you look so bad.
Yeah, you look bad.
So bad, bro.
You look bad. Yeah, you look bad. And I would say after, okay, so my mind going into my sophomore year was like, Otto Porter's leaving. I'm like, somebody got to step up and really make this happen. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, that whole summer, man, I slaved myself to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave everything I had, you know what I mean, to just be in the best shape, to, make sure I was communicating to guys and, like, how important it is that we come back and make sure we do the same thing again because, it was precedented that Otto was, our cornerstone of our team, which I truly believe. But I'm like, if we return all these players, we'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can cover that. We can cover that with communication. We can cover that with chemistry. We can cover that with, just being able to do those things. But, quickly we realized that how important he was. Then we lost Greg Whittington, who I thought was on that level, you know what I'm saying, of an Otto.
That was a tough blow.
Yeah. And so, somebody like him who I always thought when I first got there, other than myself, was the best player that I had seen since I on campus. Yeah. And, for the people that don't know that watch this, Greg Whittington is a 6'10" shooting guard and elite. On the defensive end, he's elite on the offensive end. And,
so y'all were in school, right? We came back and played the Kennedy League. I never forget this. And we playing the Kennedy. I think you had just played the game before me, and I was playing against Greg's team next day. And we start the game. Greg like, yeah, I got Lumpy. I'm like, nigga, why? Why you got me? You sitting there, why you want to guard me?
Right. Nah, for real.
And he's sitting down. I remember I'm giving him moves. He's laughing at me. I was like, oh, nah, yo, I got to hit you with some shit.
Yeah, you got to, though. You got to. And in practice, Jabril Chaba was a hell of a defender, too.
Dog too,
yeah. And between those two, at first I started off on the blue or the white team. The white team and the blue team, the starting five versus the bench. And so, of course, I'm on the bench. I'm like, man, I'm going to go crazy. They gave me the ball. They giving me the ball every time. I'm doing all kind of crazy stuff. And eventually that's how it came about when coach was like, yo, we need him over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Coach hit you with one of these.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it was, man.
When he called the blue, you with the blue from now on. Like,
man, I'm like, man, I'm over on blue, but like y'all playing. I'm like, I want to be in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Let me get brother.
So then, every day at practice, I would either Greg would guard me or Jabril would guard me. Usually Jabril would take, our two guard or whoever, you know what I'm saying? And Greg would just be like, all right, Markel takes whatever other wing, and he'll guard me. So I'm like, all right, I have to figure out ways to score on him without the ball. You know what I'm saying? If I got the ball, I feel like he can really guard me. But once I started moving and cutting on him and, getting the ball for real and getting ball screens, then I started to chop him up a little bit. But like, if it's just you and him, I mean, I think he'll get the best of most matchups. Not all, but most of them. You know what I'm saying?
Because of his size and athleticism and his wingspan. Like, he play defense like this, he covering the whole thing.
Yeah. Yep. Shit, that helped a lot with my jump shot too. For him covering that ground, it made me have to extend my range. You know what I'm saying? Really make him have to cover more ground. But man, I mean, it was Georgetown was a very interesting dynamic because we my freshman year was like a high rise. In my sophomore year, we didn't make the tournament, went to NIT and did okay. My junior year, we went back to the tournament, and in my senior year, we didn't go to the tournament. So it's kind of like, a roller coaster the whole way through, man. And, it was tough, but I loved it, man. I love Georgetown for sure.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Good old G-Town, man. Go ahead.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I wish y'all boys, like, when I was there too, man, I would say y'all boys, like, I wish they allowed us to really, like, you know, connect on that level. You know what I'm saying?
So
Because
look,
I
man,
feel like
so
a lot of dudes like
Speak on it.
wasn't
Speak
around.
on it. Speak on it. Speak
All
on
right,
it.
well, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, like, I tried to reach out to a lot of guys that I wanted them to come back or tell the coaches. You know what I'm saying? I would ask the coaches like, yo, why don't this person or this person come hoop with us or come do this and you know, the responses weren't never like concrete responses. You know what I mean? They were never like, oh, well, because this person is overseas or this person is blah, blah, blah. It's like, do y'all not keep up with these dudes or what? Like, do y'all talk to them? Do y'all know anything?
So it come to a point, right, where you are giving everything we had wanted to give to Georgetown. Everything that you can give as a young black man, you gave to Georgetown. And when you feel at a certain time that that's reciprocated and you don't feel the love back, it's time to step away.
100%.
So
100%.
a lot of guys feel that sense. Now, I wish I would. Now looking back on it, it's easy to say now. I wish me and Free was in there with y'all the whole time. It's easy to say that now.
Right. It is.
I ain't gonna lie to you. At that time, I ain't want to be nowhere near y'all.
Right.
My mind wasn't there to be focused on helping y'all. I was on a whole different wave.
No, I feel you. I mean, I know from experience as well, big bro, and just when you say that, it's like, dang, that's exactly what I've been doing for the past, 3-4 years, because along with you, you guys, like, I felt like, again, you gave everything you had and nothing was reciprocated.
Right.
And I spoke on, on a call a few weeks ago, I spoke on having a grad assistant, program and things that will keep people involved. And I feel like, again, not to the extent, but asking of things instead of like giving, you're not necessarily giving, you're asking, but you're not giving, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else has put in the work, you know what I mean? And I tell you straight up, bro, like, I left home. We just talked about this. I left home, you know what I'm saying? Where basketball is all we do around here. It ain't nothing else. It's either you play basketball or you go in the street somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I know you know Duke Pryor.
Yeah, definitely. Duke is my man. Duke is my dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and Duke, I had a chance. A great guy, man. Duke is one of my men. Did you go to NCAA first team?
Yeah, definitely. Duke. When I first got there, Duke was the one that kept us. It's past the curfew. Like, y'all gotta go upstairs. Like, he was that guy for us. And I'm like, all right, cool. We got a game tomorrow anyway. So.
Yo, how tight was NCAA first team, bro?
Man, it was crazy. It was crazy. I loved it, man. I loved the whole layout.
So NCAA first team, for people, the listeners, is basically, it's a collection of young high school kids that are hopeful Division I athletes. And it's basically a weekend trip. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, like 3-4 days. It's a weekend trip where they take you to some city in a hotel. Sometimes it was one time in Virginia Beach, another time in I can't remember.
I think one of ours was in Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte, North Carolina.
I think ours was in Florida, I think.
Yeah, so
like Orlando. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they'll basically block off 3-4 days, and we sit and talk about everything that's associated with the game. Mm-hmm. Whether it be schoolwork, whether it be how to deal with women, whether it be how to deal with coaches, whether it be etiquette, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, everything. They covered the whole thing, so you're prepared for the college level. And it's funny to me, like, and I always ask people that be in the program, what do you remember? Is there anything that you remember or take back from that program that you still hold to this day?
I mean, I know we all remember the conversation about the women. I mean, that
was crazy.
We all remember that conversation. I mean, I would say a lot of the, like, I mean, the biggest thing that I got from it, I won't even say that they said it. They didn't say it, but like that was what they were speaking on, was that basketball, even in college, is a business, bro. Like, even if you might be there, but like if you're not playing well, you're not doing nothing for them, like they will move you to the end of the bench, or they will let you transfer, make you transfer. When I was at Georgetown, bro, like I would say my junior year, from that team, from my junior year, which was really solid, I would say maybe 3 or 4, I would say 4 to 6 of them transferred after I left. And I'm like, man, what? Yeah. And it's like, I don't know if it's them personally or it's because of the, the program and how they do stuff. But again, it's what you can do for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what got them to the point of like saying I need to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like where they feel appreciated. You know what I mean? Like where they feel like, all right, they got my best interest and feel and truly feel that way. And of course, you know, with the women, that conversation was just a eye opener for all of us because we all was little, you know.
Little youngest thinking we was getting right. We was right.
Yeah,
so we go into it was called like Red Zone, right? It was called Red Zone.
Yeah.
So Red Zone is basically they telling you everything. All the STDs we gonna talk about. All the ways that you can get trapped by these females we gonna talk about. And meanwhile, it's a meeting room of like 100 young brothers, 100 young men.
Yep. We all sitting right next to each other.
All sitting right next to, and we got a booklet, and they show us a booklet, and the booklet is the most graphic thing that you can ever imagine. You can ever imagine, bro. But it was really good because one, it's the first thing you got to talk to Coach Thompson. You know, Thompson came in there.
I got a story for that one. I got a story for Coach Thompson though. But go ahead, finish.
Yeah, so we got this. Coach Thompson was in there. Charles Barkley, we met him coming there. And but the biggest thing I remember from first team was that daggone etiquette class.
Yeah, definitely.
Remember when we had to sit at the table and the lady would come around and show us exactly which way we were supposed to enter, when we were supposed to sit down, what utensils we supposed to use. We supposed to hold our hands. I will never forget that. I'm like, dang, people really do this? You know what I'm saying? Like that was the biggest things that my takeaway from first.
And I would even say, like, you know, I learned a lot of that stuff. And I would say that it resonated with you. That's a great point because, you know, my mom taught me a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And like she taught me that, like, all right, you're supposed to either tuck your napkin in or put it over your leg, or, you know, and which fork to use with your salad, which one to use with your food, which spoon to use for your soup, which spoon to use, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So like, you know, it's crazy that there was so many, you know, underlying things that you just like, dang, like now it's everything's starting to come back. Like,
starting to resonate.
That was one of the first things. Yeah, that was one of the first things we did when we ate dinner.
Yep.
Definitely.
We're gonna show y'all how to eat the right way so y'all don't be out here looking like food. No, y'all gonna be future Division I athletes. That means y'all could be sitting with future CEOs and all this stuff, you know, trying to position yourself to better your family. You gotta know how to eat. You gotta know how to sit at the table and conduct yourself in a respectful manner.
Real. You're 100% right, man. 100% right.
So I think it might have been like day one for us in the first team. So we're in the conference room and Coach Thompson comes he's our guest speaker. Right. So it's probably like this is my first time ever like seeing him in person.
Yeah.
Shit like that. So he comes in there, he's talking. It was probably like 9 a.m. So, you know, guys is kind of tired and stuff like that coming in or whatever. It's 9 a.m. and he's talking. I don't know. It was somebody up front started yawning. And he was like, he snapped on him so crazy. Like, you thought like talking to one of us at Georgia.
Yeah, we sat up. Everybody sat up.
Everybody, to the point like you be like fake, like going into the yawn and be like, I don't want that.
You be trying to hold your yawn in, your eyes watering.
It was that.
Hey, did y'all get them talks at Georgetown? Like he have y'all come sit down around him and he started talking.
We gotta talk every week, bro. What are you talking?
Every week,
Indian style. We sitting there Indian style while he's sitting in the chair and he just looking up like, dang, okay, OG, like tell us the stories then. Goddamn, and he gonna curse the whole time.
And sometimes he going down the line on every.
Yeah, that was the worst.
All 14 of us going down the line.
He did me so bad one day, man. I want to say this is my senior year maybe, and you know our team we were struggling, man. We were struggling bad, and he's like, you know, he go through the list and you know saying, you know, Big John, how he talk, he say what he gotta say to everybody. He's like, you mother, he's like, you act like you don't want to score the basketball. What did you come here for? I'm like, man, what are you talking about? I just had 25 yesterday. What are you talking about? Like, but you passed the ball to this boy and he can't even shoot. You pass it to this dude, and he can't even finish a layup. Why are you doing that? I'm like, man, the coach said when I drive this way, throw it there. I said, and he was open. Like, why are you cussing me out, coach? He's like, if you want to lose MF, then keep doing that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, look, I'm trying to, make it happen.
You be in that joint working all summer, trying to get your jumper right, trying to get your bounce right, your hand right, and he will shut all that down. He can't even shoot a jump shot, and you throwing him the ball. You like, oh, coach, I thought you was gonna say I was improving my jumper.
Right, that's what I thought he was gonna say. I'm like, I thought he was gonna be like, yo, I see you been working, man. You been trying to do this, and I'm like, all right, cool. I've been trying to be a little point guard sometimes, and be this forward and be this. Like, dang, he started going in. Like, I'm like, bro, you would have thought I was averaging 5 points the way he was talking.
Man, that was the culture at the time, man. That was the culture. That's how it was.
It was.
Yeah, so this is a question. This is a great question. Go ahead, Free. I'll let you answer this.
No, go ahead.
Okay, you went through Georgetown, right? And now you see the culture shifting in terms of players, in terms of where they're going, especially with this with the movement of Black Lives Matter, and just that so many people are understanding what the importance of Black people are, and that we have obviously been put in a deficit for so long,
Right.
What are your thoughts on? And I know you in the game. You're a trainer. I saw you were at the Mamba Academy for a while, correct?
Yep.
You back in Indy. I be seeing the factory in Indy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, man.
Indy factory. But what are your thoughts on these next kids? So you see these kids come around. Is this something that they're talking about, trying to go to Black colleges and universities? Or how do you think that shift, that culture, that would shift the culture of basketball? Is that something that people are really on now? Because I see these young kids like Mikey, this other kid making it, they moving that way.
Yeah, I mean, I like the movement, and I think if it's true, you know what I'm saying, then I would love for it to be, that, you know what I'm saying. But as far as like where we're from, a lot of the young kids here, man, I would say are not really in tune with what's going on because it's not, directly affecting them. You know what I'm saying? And so I would say I try to talk to them about it, you know what I'm saying, and explain, why things are the way that they are. But, again, some of them it resonates with. Some of them, they're just like, man, I want to go to the biggest college I can get, you know what I'm saying? And so, which I can't be mad at that because, when we was coming up, that was what we did. You know what I'm saying? I want all the big schools. I want all the Georgetowns, the Kentuckys, Dukes, the Ohio States, stuff like that. So, I'm not mad at that, and I won't like say that they have to go to HBCU or anything like that. But yeah, what I find that to be the wave, man, for sure, because I think that'll help, and that would encourage more kids coming from where we come from to enhance and move forward in our culture, just in general.
So let me ask you this. So I got a son. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Free gonna be up on the train soon. Whenever he as a kid, you got
I got one. Got a 5-year-old.
Now you say to your son is like you coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's top 30. He top 30, whatever. He's an all-state type player coming out.
Mm-hmm.
He has the opportunity to go to Georgetown, or he has the opportunity to set his own pace and set his own record and go to HBCU with some of his homies.
Mm-hmm. Well, he
hear me talking to you right now because he know that's what's on the table.
He already know.
How do you approach that as a father going through the process? Free too. I'm interested to know, how do we approach this? Because we've been through the experience. You know what you want and what you don't want. You know what it's like to be at a big school and what that's like. Now we know that the game is shifting in terms of more being. These kids got brands by the time they get in college now. Everybody knows who they are. Social media has moved them so forward. So imagine if you got the little baby DSR and some of his other homies, 3 or 4 of them, they top dogs, and they go to some black. What's a black school in the Midwest? They go to any black school in the Midwest. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just any Kentucky State. I mean, there's a lot of HBCUs around.
So
but
imagine they played all the top schools in the before the conference stuff.
Right. And I would say, you know, the biggest thing for me is I want him to go somewhere, if he does, whatever the scenario is, I want him to go somewhere where he's the most appreciated and where I know that I can trust. If I send my son somewhere, they're going to take care of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let him go to, you know, somewhere where I feel like, man, I don't know what they got going on. I truly don't know if I feel, you know, this type of way about him. And, you know, I want him, that'll be his first, you know, decision as a young man. You know what I'm saying? That he has to live with, he has to experience that. You know, he has to go through.
That's totally his decision.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give my advice. I'll give my opinion, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you take it for what it is, you know what I mean? But you remember, you got to live, you got to go there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
going to go through it.
Help you. Yeah, I'm just going to help you. I'm not going to do it for you.
What you think, Free?
I mean, it's going to be his decision anyway.
Right.
If you comfortable, if you like it, I love it, pretty much. Like, if you comfortable going there, you know, I'm good. I've been through the whole recruiting process too, though.
Right.
So,
right.
Like, so I'll have, like, you know, my thoughts, and I you know, say stuff here and there and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be what he decides.
Right.
That's not going to be them dads that be like, nah, you going where I tell you to go because it's the best for you.
Nah.
And you need to call the line, youngest.
Yeah, I ain't going to force them because I feel like if you do make the decision for them, that can be you know, resentful. You know what I mean? Like, you making all the decisions for me now, they not learning like there's consequences to everything, good and bad. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I said, at 17, 18, that's your first decision, like, as, you know, as a young man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go do this, and you know, I'm gonna try to make the most of it and see what happens. You know what I mean? So it works out, you know, for a lot of us, and some of us, you know, it's a tougher situation because it's like, you know, it's up in the air, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how I feel, you know, and you know, speaking from experience, you know what I mean? Like, that was a decision that, you know, my family wanted me to go to Georgetown. You know, I talked about that early on, you know, and you know where my head was when I was in high school, where I wanted to go to school, you know, Xavier, and then I had some other schools that I, you know, really, really loved that I wanted to even go see. But, you know, I committed to Georgetown. That was like my first, like, official visit. And so, you know, yeah, you just want that predicament to be controlled by, you know, the person that's going to be, you know, dealing with that. So.
Yeah. Now I'm talking trash, man. I let my younger do what he want to do, man.
Yeah.
Part of me don't even want my younger to play basketball. Part of me doesn't even want that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want him to do whatever else. You know? But at the same time, of course I want my son to hoop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you as first hero, man. You know what I'm saying? My son just told me that the other day, and I'm like, he left the door unlocked when we came in the house. And I'm like, you gotta lock the door behind you. He's like, wow. I'm like, so don't nobody come in here and steal none, or don't nobody come get us, man. He said, well, you're here, so you're my hero, and nobody's gonna come in. I'm like, what are you, this dude, man?
Hey, that made me feel real good, though.
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, man. I was like, man, all right. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I got you. You all right with me?
My
dog, right?
Right. So
that's true feeling.
You ain't gonna have no choice. Lil Chris is gonna be right behind you. You know what I'm saying?
That's my man right there.
Yeah.
That's my dog. Anytime like now, so we getting ready. I'm getting ready to go to Turkey. You know, and so he see that, and my son been with me the whole time. I've been playing overseas. He's been with us from day one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was born 2 weeks later. He was on a plane to come to where I was at. You know. So, so he came downstairs this morning, or was this yesterday? It was yesterday morning. He came downstairs yesterday morning, and he was looking around. He was like, "Whoa!" He said, "It's time to go, huh?" I was like, "My son is 7." He's like, "It's time to go." I'm like, "Why you say that?" He said, "I see all the bags." He said, "I need to go get my bag. I'm ready whenever you know. I need to go pack my stuff." I like, "See, I got you, bro. Don't worry. We ain't going nowhere without you, dog. I got you." He's like, "Okay, I'm ready though. Just let me know. I'm packing my stuff. Where we going this year?" You know, so, and he looks forward to it. So it's pretty cool once they, you know, they look up to what you doing and how you doing it. You know, that's pretty amazing feeling. For sure.
So.
Oh yeah, man. Already, how was that though? Like with him being overseas with you?
So CJ's first language is Chris Jr. is my son. Is CJ's first language was Hebrew.
Dang.
That's
a nasty language right there,
man.
Yeah.
We were in Israel, right? That's where he went to school for the first time too. That's where he went to school for the first time. We in Israel, and me and my wife, Erin, my wife, we sitting there. He was in, came home, whatever. We in school, but the school speaks English as well. We came home and he just started talking. And we like,
he started saying some stuff you didn't know.
Yeah, I'm like, what you talk about? Talk Shabbat Shalom type, vernacular and all that. I'm like, oh, his first words is Hebrew, dog. And then his first words is it tripped us out, dog. I'm like, how you?
What did he say to you? What did he say to you? Do you remember?
Bro, I don't know, man. I gotta ask my wife. I don't be remembering stuff like that. I just remember that it was a language I had no idea, but he said it super clear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta ask my wife what he said, but yeah, it's so he's more of an international kid. Like he visits America.
Yeah,
no, for real. He visits America. He's on his second passport, almost third.
Hey man, they call that foreign. We call that foreign. You know
that. Yeah. What I say?
He a foreign cat. You say he visits America. I say he a foreign cat. Man.
Yeah, he a foreign. Foreign youngest. So, and then most of his time, we spent 5 years in Italy. So most of his childhood, for 5 years, it was Italy. So all his stuff, the way he sounds and all that, is like an Italian kid. It's so funny. So yeah, I mean, he loves it, man. As long as we're together, you should see him in the airport. He'd be rolling his bank. Then his little sister just follows right behind, and it's
that's what's up.
Shout out to my wife, man, because we make it work. We done been through it all.
Yeah, that's a hell of an experience, and I'm sure he loved that.
Man. Oh yeah, he be asking us when we going back. He got the clock in his head. He know we here too long. It's about time to go back. Yeah. All right, let's get back.
So what were the biggest individual lessons you learned playing at Georgetown?
Shoot.
Individual lessons?
Yeah. Or just say like what you learned playing for 4 years.
I would say off the court, I would say the biggest thing that I learned, man, was that my time management was horrible. Like I used to I would only get up in time for things that I knew I had to do or were important.
What time you get out for the 8:50 class?
I'm not getting out the bed till 8:47.
I'm getting out the bed till about 9:04.
I'm like, man, if I can get there in the first 2 minutes, right over there, I'm like, that's dang near perfect. Like everybody just walked in, I'm right there, right on time.
Right.
Everything was just about managing, man, because it's like working a job and playing basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a hard job. It just was a job. You know what I'm saying? And I really didn't have time. I would say another thing was just how lame I was. Like, I didn't have no social life, man. I used to be in the crib, and mind you, when I first got there, the guy that I'm watching the most is Otto, you know what I'm saying? And Otto was a homebody. Like, he was like, man, I'm trying to go to the league. I'm not going out. I'm not doing none of this. And to me, I was like, well, that's where it's at, because he's about to go to the league. He's about to be a top 5 pick. So I can just at home and rest and do this and do that. And then after a while, I started to meet people from the school. I started to network, and then I started going out a little bit, kicking it with people, meeting people in the city, and just being around the culture. I went to Howard a few times, you know what I'm saying? And I just started to appreciate it more, you know what I mean? Instead of just being like, I'm gonna be cooped up in the crib, you know what I mean? It's a way to balance, all of that and do it the right way. You know what I mean? And at first, I was away from home anyway, you know what I'm saying? Otto from Missouri, you know what I'm saying? He's up the road, and I'm from Midwest too. So we both kind of personality-wise, we was kind of similar, and he didn't really know too many people. I didn't, so we started kicking it more and stuff like that. So that was kind of how that came about. But then I started kicking it with like Greg, you know what I'm saying? I started chilling with like some of the older guys started coming back, like Jeff. And then I started seeing like John Wall and them, they started to our games, and Brad building them, and I like Brad was always cool. I knew Brad through like AAU and stuff, and when I started seeing them around, then that's when I started really popping out more, because you know they was putting me on game basically. So you know, it was cool. And then Big Brad too, Bradley Hayes. I can't forget my footer. That's my dog.
Oh, yeah, Big Brad.
Yeah, he's a goofball, man, but that's my boy. He used to get out there too, because he's from Jacksonville. So you know, he was a long way from home too, man. But you know, social life, man. Enjoy life, meet people, network, because you never know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I can say that was one of the things that we needed to slow down on, dog.
Yeah.
We was out from the first time we stepped on campus.
But y'all, hey, but listen though, bro, y'all was the wave though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard when you the wave. Like,
D, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. From the first day we stepped on campus, we was active.
Yeah.
We was active.
That's what my OGs got it from then.
Yeah,
for sure. Got it from then, cause like bro and them, like, you know, that when I first got there, a lot of my guys went out. Like they was out. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they was from the city, like they was out. They was popping out. I'm like, man, what y'all getting so fresh for? I walk in the crib or something, see these boys and they do stuff. I said, yo, I don't even got no Louis belt, bro. I don't have no, you know what I'm saying? I ain't have one either. Yeah, I ain't got that. I said, when my pell check come in, those stipend come in, I'm definitely. Yeah, man, y'all boys was ready. Y'all must know what's really going on. So, I mean, as time went on, you know, I popped out a couple times with them, man, and they was showing me what's up. And honestly, I ain't even really have to do all that, you know, to really get myself out there. You know what I mean? Like when I would pop out like that, I think more people were surprised when they would see me. Like I would get love from people that I honestly never would have even talked to had I not, you know what I'm saying, popped out to the club or went to a bar.
Bro, we be out at the bar in our sweats and flip-flops, bro.
Yeah.
Out there.
What's that, Rhino? The little spot.
Rhino was the spot. Rhino and Tubes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. They treated boys well, man. They treated boys well.
Man,
I seen Free. I remember one time Free had came back, right? And I had seen Free had came in there, and Free, you know, he was chilling, he was doing his thing. So I go in there, I'm like, damn, they passing drinks out left and right to boys. I'm like, damn, they getting active. I'm like, I could have swore, I'm like, damn, I done had at least 4 or 5 drinks and I ain't even pulled out my wallet. I'm like, damn, they doing it like this. I knew it was on lock. I knew y'all had it on lock. I could just tell. I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Hey, man,
once I left school and I would come back, man, I would always stop by Rondo.
I already know.
One time.
Free is a part-time owner of that joint. I mean, he is a half owner of that joint. Though.
I'm telling you, every time I saw him, or if I was there, which was random, it might have been once or twice, but when I saw him, I'm like, dang, they taking care of boys. Like, look. I see Free be in the corner, you know, just doing his little, you know, he chill.
Nah. Look. Free is making sure he's washing the door. He's behind the bar. He's on the dance floor. He DJing. That's his joint.
Part-time owner. That's what you said.
That's his joint, son. Like that's what he do. You talking about Pell Grant? Free had a real live business at Georgetown, man. Free was running it up. Nah, I'm joking.
Hey, yo.
Real shit. Nah, man, that was good time. People always ask me like, how you feel about Georgetown and all that stuff. I'm like, listen, man, basketball, it is what it was at Georgetown. You know, obviously, like when we were top 10 every year. We didn't have deep runs in the tournament. Mm-hmm. But we did our thing. But the campus life, I loved it, man. I had a ball on campus.
Me too.
I had a ball on campus. Like, for real, man. It was so much fun. You meet so many people. And then it's such a basketball school. Like,
you had to compete with no other, you know, teams.
No sports. Yeah, for sure.
No disrespect to the football team, but they probably won about 4 games in 4 years when I was there.
Yeah, same. They wasn't on too much when I was there too. Like, I would say
we got the worst homecomings. We gotta get better at our homecomings. God, them
yeah, that's the thing. Like when they say like homecoming and stuff like that, man. Like my freshman year and sophomore year, I'm like, yo, this about to be lit. This is one of the days that I'm like, I did pop out. I'm like, oh, it's about to be lit. I go to the football game. I'm like, all right, it's cool, but it ain't like crazy like that.
Yeah.
But I go to some, house parties or go, pull up on one of my boys or something, and it's like, this is cool. But like, I went to Howard homecoming, and I was like, man, this is a different level right now. Like, this is totally different. That's when I started falling in love with DC. Like, because I'm like, man, this is what I was expecting right here. Because they come together, they pop out, they have a good time, and it ain't nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just good people. Everybody trying to enjoy themselves, man. And I'll say it's a little more diverse. You know what I'm saying? Let's say that. Like Georgetown for me was like, and that was another reason why I would say socially I wasn't really, proactive at Georgetown too. Cause like, it wasn't a lot of diversity where I go to school. The high school that I went to in Indiana is diverse. We got like 4,000, 5,000 people in there. And it's like, it's all kind of races, all kind of people, man. And I'm like, damn, like I love that, you know what I'm saying? Because it makes you like learn, you know what I'm saying, and understand different kind of people. So it ain't hard to have conversation. But I went there and it was only predominantly one race. And then I had a handful of, people like me. And then there's a handful of people that came from overseas and a handful of people that came from, wherever. And I'm like, it's kind of hard to, really.
Yeah, it was real sporadic in terms of of where you can kind of, link up with people.
Yeah, they show love though. They show love. Anytime I was around though, everybody showed love.
It was definitely all love. I ain't never had no issues on campus, but you did notice that it was like, you outnumbered out this motherfucker.
It's like those, you know how the parties go. It's like, you got the socials, social parties where you drink. Y'all talking more than y'all just, vibing to music or whatever. You got the real parties, the twerking and the, all that. And then you got
that joint. Ooh, them parties. You remember them parties? You come out the joint, your whole rich. Your whole shit.
Oh, you be in that joint. Golly.
You gotta lift your.
Oh man, it's dripping. Hey, just think about that right now, and think about the time we in. You know what I'm saying? The windows all fogged up, bro. Mm-hmm. COVID. If COVID was out at that time, everybody got it.
Yeah,
I'd have been hurt.
Oh my God, it was ugly, bro. It was
been hurt, man. I'd have been hurt.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how you gonna tell these kids not to be? God dang, what you supposed to do? These kids ain't about to
shutting their whole college life down.
I mean, they gotta do.
They gotta do something though. They gotta do something for sure.
This is bad, man. They talk about they're not even opening up universities and all that, online classes and all this stuff.
Blue, there.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. My dog. Dog. Come here, man. You say what's up real quick?
What's up?
Yeah, what's up then? You tell me.
Chilling.
What's up, big man?
Chilling.
You working on your game today?
Say you work on your game, basketball.
Yeah. You got some handles?
You got some handles. You been dribbling, been working out.
You got a jumper? You shoot like your daddy at?
You can talk, man. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. You doing this? You just doing this. Look. He said you could shoot better than me.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you said that real confident. That ain't about nothing.
Yeah, he said it ain't nothing.
We gonna see. You got some work to do. I can't just let you have that.
Right.
We gonna see what you come up with. You know what I'm saying?
That's fifth all time right there.
Yeah.
Top five.
We're gonna put in some work. So we're gonna put the work in for sure.
You gonna do your thing. We root for you, man. When you the next one up, we need you to carry the torch.
Yeah. So they went to school where Daddy went to school.
I know.
Georgetown. Yep.
What number did Daddy wear?
What number did I wear?
4.
4. You know what number he wore?
The same.
The same. Yeah. He bucket too. He used to get buckets.
Half court?
From half court? He probably can make some from half court.
I can throw up a half court shot. It ain't my best shot, but I got a little something.
He played on both of them. They both played on really good teams at Georgetown. Their teams are really good.
Can they make it from a building to a?
Oh, here you go, being out.
What's the question? What's the question? What you got? I want to hear this.
What you got to say? Go ahead.
Can they make it from a building to a?
Oh, he's talking.
Look, I can make a shot.
He been watching them TikTok videos.
I already know.
How they be doing the trick shots off the top of the house. And all
Look, mine is going. My shot, I can make a shot. I can shoot it from my house. It's going to bounce off my friend's house. Then it's going to bounce off my high school, and it's going to go into the Georgetown nets. And I could do it 3 times in a row.
You think you could do that?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
That's what I like.
That's that easy. You can do that.
I like that.
He been working on this game. So we getting better.
Man, just have fun with it, man. When you want to play, you play. Right now, have fun.
Right.
Enjoy that thing. It ain't nothing serious. This is the best time, bro. You can really love the game and have fun with it. So.
Yeah.
My dog. He know that. That's my dog.
Yeah. Definitely. That's what's up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Free, what you got?
You all right?
Well, we asked all alumni this, you know. We all love Georgetown.
Yeah.
For us to be a contender again, what do you think we need to do, man?
What do we got to do to be a contender again?
Yeah.
Man, that is a great question, man. I mean, I think we need to, like, if we can get guys that are committed to, like, being the best version of themselves or coming into the situation where, you know, they truly believe in it. And I think if they see our faces, I think it'll start to build up to that point. Will it happen in the next year or two? You know, I think it can progress. Do I think we'll get there? You know, who knows? But, you know, as far as like building that tradition, I think that's the first thing. Like, we have to be able to build that, like, you know, yeah, I know Austin Freeman, I know Chris Wright, I know DSR. I met them all on my visit. I met them all, you know, at Midnight Madness. I met them all at Homecoming. I met them all at, you know, such and such. I think those things have to happen first because a lot of people won't buy into it. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't seen the players. They don't market us. You know what I'm saying? They don't use us on that platform to say like, yo, Georgetown, we had all of these dudes right here, you know what I'm saying, that was really like that, you know what I mean? So it's hard for a guard to come to Georgetown and say, yeah, I'm going to be the next. I'm going to be blah, 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 you know what I mean? And I think that's where the giving has to come back. We talked about earlier, we gave so much, but nothing was in return. I think how they give us, you know what I'm saying, allow us, that is, why don't they bring you back to the school? Why don't they bring you back for, you know, such and such? Yeah, we're going to fly you out when you stay here. But same thing they did when they recruited us. You know what I mean? If you was getting recruited at other schools, it's the same thing. If I know you can pay for me to come to the school for a visit for 2 days, I know you can take care of the vets that done already put the work in to come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should be nothing. I'm about to send you the email. I'm about to send you all the information. Let me know if you can make it. That's the only thing you need to let me know. You don't have to pay for nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. Just let me know if you can come. That's how I think we got to get to the point of, you know, getting back in that, you know, dominating.
Why you think it's not that? Why you think it's not that?
Huh?
Why do you think it's not that now?
Honest answer, or you want me to, you know?
Yeah,
okay.
Honest.
The honest answer is, and we've said this before, but they're not willing to give. You know what I'm saying? They're not willing to make that a priority. You know what I'm saying? If that was a priority and making sure that Chris Wright came back to talk to whatever point guard we're trying to bring in to make sure that he comes, why would you not do that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Chris, we got the number 5 point guard or number 3 point guard in the country coming in. You know, we need you to we need you to fly in for 2 days to talk to this kid or to take them out to dinner or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Same thing they would do when they want you to come. You know what I mean? Same thing. This is my boy right here. This bear right here, man. Yeah. He's a big old boy.
Big Friday, huh?
Man. Yeah. But you know, that's the main thing for me, bro. I feel like that's how you reciprocate. You know what I mean? It don't gotta be nothing crazy because we're not asking for nothing crazy. You know what I mean? We never have. I feel like the players are looking to make that connection, you know what I'm saying, and make that.
Time out. With the dog here was perfect for this dog talk show. Oh my God, that fit. Just hearing him in the background, that was perfect. It was like meant to be. Goodness gracious, homie, yeah. Come on. Yeah, that's like the ad libs on a rap song or something.
Right? Yeah. Nah, for real. But
I agree, man. I agree. I think it's important, like. If you got a guy that you are looking at as your focal point, that you want to come in and take that role that Austin Freeman had, that DSR had, that whoever the next scorer was, that, whoever it was, if you want those roles, you want this kid to come in and have that role, then you need to have these people that did it.
Right.
Talk to them and explain to them and help them and give them the resources necessary so they can speed up their process. Because it's not going to work unless. With DSR not going to the league, we don't get as many more players from Indiana.
Right.
With Free not going to the league, okay, the Math is a great school and all that stuff, but the Math kid's like, let me go to Michigan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or, let me go somewhere else. That's the exact kid. But so that kind of, if it doesn't happen like that, then we don't see the trend. You know what I'm saying? We don't see the trend. We got too many talented dudes. I'm the only person to touch at the guard position. I'm the only person to touch the association.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
No sense.
It don't, man. And I think, again, it just has to be an appreciation. You know what I mean? Like, let us feel like y'all appreciated us coming here. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with, nobody's asking you to do nothing crazy. None of us, we're not getting paid from y'all. We're not asking that, come back and be everybody that went to Georgetown be an assistant coach. It's not even that. You know what I'm saying? When you look at these other, blue collar or, these other institutions that bring back their players, you know what I'm saying? To me, that was my expectation of Georgetown. I'm like, damn, like everybody on staff at Duke went to Duke at some point. Everybody on staff at Syracuse played at Syracuse at some point. Everybody that went to, and it's like, man, how, where is that? You know what I'm saying? What is that? You know what I'm saying? Because to me, that's what I feel like a family or a brotherhood is supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? And for us, I feel like, again, we had that disconnect, you know what I'm saying, between the players, between coaches, stuff like that. It was no like true, connection to his core. And like you said, you had 100% on your visits. I ain't see you on my visit. I'm like, how serious was y'all really, about it? You know what I mean? If that was the case, then why they didn't fly you in? How you know what I'm saying, meet with me, we spend 2 days and free, same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, why y'all not there? It's like, dude, these are the last 2 guards that you just had before I got here. So those are the guys that you need to have get me up on game, like let me know, you know what I'm saying, what it is. Like, same thing with for me now. It's like, okay, the last 2 guards that came in after me was McClung and Akinja, the other guard that was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like both of those guys. But I feel like we're all knowledgeable enough and have played enough to really put them up on game or let them know what they really need. And I feel like that platform is not given to us or allowed for us. And I feel like that's not even a major thing. If they brought in a big, I would expect them to bring in Henry or bring in, Josh Smith, who was my big, or, and this is just speaking in recent time, I'm not even talking about the legends, we know how they do, but I'm saying in recent time, because in recent time that allows them to really like understand and see who's on the floor, see who's at the school.
And not for nothing,
you know what I mean?
Nothing, I think that, and just not for nothing, I think just if anything, having somebody there You know what I'm saying? See, one thing I've always respected about DSR, he came in and he was always serious about his craft. He worked on his game. He wasn't bored. You know, there was a lot of people that kind of be on to work on the game. DSR worked on this game.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was nothing that you had to worry about with him. He made sure that his stuff and his toolbox was sharp at all times. A lot of times, kids, especially when you coming from a Kenjo, you coming from the West Coast, you coming from Oakland,
right?
Got McClung coming from another place in Pennsylvania where it was all him. They don't know. It's hard for them to understand the impact of what this program means to, you know, what I'm saying, the people before them. So having somebody, not saying that you got to be teaching them everything, not saying you got to be, you know, hands-on with them, but just like, look, this is what you represent, bro. We came through here, so you got to put on. You know what I'm saying? Just having that type of energy in the locker room or having that type of energy in practice, plant seeds in someone's head. Like if one of the old, if AI came up to me, if Chuck came up to me and was like, yo, you better represent G-Town.
Man, you're gonna do everything you can.
I'm doing everything possible to make sure that he's satisfied, that I'm satisfied, and everything like that. And I think that's the whole point, and that's the whole tree that we have to have. And that's the whole thing. Not necessarily for the sense that you bring these kids into Georgetown, they got game. If you come to Georgetown, you can hoop. So it's like you can't hoop. It's just a matter of having the infrastructure around you to make sure you go far beyond what you believed.
Right.
You know?
Influence.
And I think having like Nolan Smith at Duke, John Shire, and all those guys, that whole brotherhood and all that stuff is something that they gravitate to because they all know what they're holding up.
Right. And they gonna take care of them, man. And like you always want to be in a predicament where you feel like, hey man, if all else fails, I'm gonna be all right because they got me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that to its core, you know what I'm saying, is a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's your family. You know what I mean? Like that's what you call that. So, you know, I look at it like you know, if they take that step, if that's our one step, you know what I'm saying? If it's gonna be anything free, like what you said about you know, how do we get back in that winning, you know, circle or column or whatever, that's it, bro. That's it. I mean, and you have to involve players who have embedded the culture of Georgetown. You have to involve players that, you know, I feel like that they've not acknowledged, you know what I'm saying, for what they've done for the program. And you know, if it's not a national championship, it's a failure. No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. Absolutely not. It's opportunity that was presented to us, you know what I'm saying? And your expectation when we got there was to win a championship. Now, you know, there's only one winner, you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so what? Like I would say there's small successes within, you know, every situation. You know what I mean? Like you could say I was top 5. Yeah, that to me it's big for me, but it wasn't big for all the other players that was on the team. Why? Because it was only me, you know what I'm saying, that was top 5. It was only me that was, you know, first team, whatever. But in the grand scheme of things, winning a championship, that involves everybody, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you always have small successes, you know what I mean, and things that you could say you could highlight, you know what I mean? It's like a highlight tape. But yeah, man, if we can do that, bro, I think we'll be back in business sooner than later. You know what I mean? We just gotta.
And I think we are moving in the right direction with that, man. I think we are moving in the right direction. I think guys us having these alumni meetings and all that stuff. Keep coming back in those DSR, and it's important for the generation that's ahead of us to hear us. You know, because they have their experience, we have our experience, and we're all one. But it's a different time, and we're closer to the battlefield than they are right now. You know? So I got 2 more questions for you, and that's it. I don't want to take too much more of your time.
All right, cool.
You played at Georgetown, you graduated from Georgetown, and then you decided to turn pro, right? How many years did you play pro?
Played 2 years. I was in Chicago for a small stint. I probably was there maybe like 10 games, bro. It was a very, you know, tough situation. I was having injuries and stuff, and you know, we was in the midst of negotiating a 2-way with them. And at the time, we had a lot of guards that got traded to the team, man. We had Jeremy Grant, Jaren Grant from, you know, who's from out there. We had Isaiah Cannon, who just got traded from maybe Philly or Houston, one of those two. And then we had Spencer Dinwiddie, who had just got traded to us. Then Rondo and D Wade came on. And so like once we got the 2 vets, and then I'm like, yo, I'm competing against these other 3 guards. Then we got Denzel Valentine, who just got drafted as a lottery, so he gotta play. It was a tough situation. I was grateful for the opportunity, but I felt like it wasn't enough time, to really display what I could do. As good as all those guys are, I think I could still, outscore them. I think I could. I had more natural ability than all them. But
no question.
So it was never, to me. Once I put that jersey on, I felt like I accomplished what my true goal was. Is to say that I wore an NBA jersey. Now. A lot of people look at it like, he didn't play in the NBA, blah, blah. That's not really what it's for, bro. It's a tool. It's not necessarily to y'all, that's a failure. To me, that's a success. That's what I mean by successes. And to me, that was the greatest success that I had, because that was what I worked my whole life for, is to put that jersey on, no matter what team it was, you know what I'm saying? And, it was a great experience. Like I said, it was a tough situation because it was an uphill battle, you know what I'm saying? And then I went over to Greece to play for a little bit too, man. And Greece was great. That was actually my first team. I played with Markel Starks. Yeah. So it was, it was a quick turnaround. It was like being back in college with him, and we was just, overseas hooping.
So why'd you just stop? Why did you decide to stop?
Injuries, man. I battled a lot of injuries. So, the world didn't know, or nobody really knew, because I kind of, I didn't want to feel handicapped, and I didn't want anybody, trying to say, we can't really do this because we don't want them to get hurt, or, anything like that. And I just wanted to be able to still accomplish the things that we talk about now. You know what I'm saying? Like, mind you, I had 3 surgeries in high school on both knees. I had a surgery the week after I declared for the draft, and then I came back, decided to come back. I tore my meniscus the very next week, playing in a interleague game. And then, I couldn't really rehab how I wanted to. We had to take a trip to Italy, and, I went out there, whatever. So, I never really fully, took care of my body. As far as my knee, I didn't really take care of that as much as I would have liked, because, the season was coming up. And so they like, man, we need you. And I'm like, man, I can't rush the process, you know what I mean? But that's the part about it that I'm telling you is like business, you know what I mean? It wasn't it wasn't in my best interest. And that was a time where I just felt like I needed to be more selfish and say, nah, like I need to sit out the first 3-4 games to really feel, healthy or feel good. And it was tough, man. I had 2 surgeries. I had a surgery my sophomore year of high school, junior year of high school. I had one at the end of my senior year, so I couldn't play in like the McDonald's All-American, couldn't play in the Jordan brand. I couldn't do none of that because of injuries, and I was, out. And then, I got on campus. I was pretty good. My first 3 years, I would say that was probably the healthiest I had been in a while. And then, my senior year when I came back, that was when I got hurt again, and I was like, damn, I done accomplished all this, did all this off of 4 surgeries, you know what I mean? And it's like, damn, like, most people, I don't know if they're going to even be able to play after all that. You know what I'm saying? So it was tough, bro. It was tough. It was tough. But mentally, I think that's what really made me love the game so much and want to prove that, like I belong with them. You know what I'm saying? I belong with the best. Like I am one of the best. So, yeah.
Right. And I'm glad you said that. A lot of people don't understand that there's so many outside sources that put pressure and have their version of what they believe that you should be doing and how you should be managing your life. You know what I'm saying? How you should be managing your career as an athlete or whatever you may have, because people watch you your whole life and they think they got all the answers. And for you to sit here and understand that, look, man, this was my win. This is what I wanted. I wanted this jersey. Regardless of what y'all talking about, y'all want me to have a 10-year career. That ain't got nothing to do with it, man.
Right.
That right now, that wasn't in the cards for me, and that's something that we all have to understand. And it's a humbling experience at times because you always, as an athlete, we always striving to compete, to be the best, to be number one, and all that stuff. And when it doesn't pan out, it's very, very humbling for a young man to say, okay, you know what, I got to go in a different route and approach this a different way.
Right.
So I commend both of y'all for doing that, because this dude right here, Free, and he knows this, is like, this nigga's whipped my ass every year in high school. We couldn't beat them in high school every year. That's who we lost to. So a lot of my motivation was to be better than Free. You know what I'm saying? Right. When he retired, that hit home on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, we had this conversation and all that stuff and what that meant. But yeah, man, I think that some people, you got to understand, if you want to be in this game, now I'm going in my 10th year, you got to understand that if you want to be in this, you got to be 10 toes down.
Man, got to. You got to
embrace the struggle, embrace the journey, embrace the hard days, because they're going to come.
Yeah.
You know? So look, this is my last question, dog. Now you are now into training, coaching, the other side of the game that, you know what I'm saying, most of us athletes, basketball players kind of transition to, if you understand the game. How has that, and I saw you at the Mamba Academy, how has that changed your approach, and how has that changed your love and reinventing yourself for, you know, in this game?
I would say it was hard for me to transition out of player to coach, because I was always so competitive and so like, I could still do this, I could do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I could, you know what I'm saying? It just wasn't 82 games, you know what I'm saying, an NBA season to do that stuff. But you know, as far as being a coach, I've always felt like that when I played, you know, being able to allow guys to understand, you know, where I'm coming from and the perspective that I have. I think that's why a lot of guys like Rondo's, you know, the Jason Kidds, you know, guys like that were so successful, because they could get people to get on the same page with them and really, you know, listen to what they got to say, because what they said, you know, was really something that could help you, you know what I mean? So for me, it was, I got it down, you know, being able to communicate and, you know, talking to young guys, because a lot of them that I do keep in touch with and that I do talk to, they're doing really well. You know, that's a success in itself, and you know, something that I really appreciate.
You hear that, Georgetown? The dudes he's working out are doing really well. So you guys need to understand that we need that.
Man,
that's what we need. So don't discredit that. You know what I'm saying?
What he's doing.
What he's doing. But yeah, man. So now, first off, man, DSR, we appreciate you, brother, man. We appreciate you. We respect you. We respect what you did for the program. We respect what you're doing now. We respect that you wore that number 4. We respect that you a stone cold killer. We respect that you a stand-up guy. And most of all, we respect that you get motherfucking buckets. You understand?
Man, I appreciate it for sure. I appreciate y'all boys, man.
You know,
for sure.
We appreciate you, man. We love to have you back on and love you. Keep us posted with what you got going on. This is one of the platforms that we said at Georgetown we needed as alumni to stay connected. So part of the reason why we doing this is to give the guys like yourself, myself, all the people that we interviewed, understand what they got going on and what they doing and how they moving in life. We gotta stay connected. We gotta practice this group thing, man, more and more, because we got all the pieces to get wherever we want. So I salute you, man. Keep it up. Keep putting in that pain, because your time going to come.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir. You already know, man. Appreciate y'all boys, man.
Appreciate you, dog. And keep us up on what you're doing, man.
A lot of love, man.
Yes, sir. Got you. All right, big dog. Both of y'all, man. Y'all boys be careful. Good seeing y'all.
All right, you too, brother.